Hello, everybody. Jacob Horn here. Uh, shoot, 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. I just went to close my door, and then I decided I wanted a drink of water, and then my mom started talking to me. Which is not a problem. I love my mom. Love you, Mom. Uh, she probably can't hear me. Hmm. So, today is, if you could not tell by the title, which I haven't decided on yet, but you probably won't be able to tell by the title, we're going to be playing, well, I guess I'm going to be playing some Kerbal Space Program, and you guys are just going to watch when I upload this, and I don't know how long this is gonna be. Maybe 20 minutes, maybe a few hours. We'll just have to see. Did I already say Jacob Horn? Nice to meet you. I better have. That should be the first line I said. All right. Now I have a very good idea for February's video, but that depends on some other people. And oh wait, this is already running. There we go. And so I'm not sure if it'll like if it'll go through or not. I should not be telling you about big plans because I don't want to disappoint. Just pretend I didn't say anything. So we're just waiting for this to load up. Um, for those of you who do not know, Kerbal Space Program is a piece of spyware disguised as a game about orbital mechanics and building rocket ships. Yeah. So I really have no plan for this. Just kind of wanted to play some Kerbal Space Program, and realized that I still needed a video for this month. So I decide, kill two birds in the bush better than one, as the old saying goes. Stay hydrated. Here we go. All right. I don't. Let's see. Yes, yes. Thank you. Expansion packs. Blah 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 blah. No, thank you. We're going to go into some settings, make sure that the sound is down. There we go. Apply. We'll turn that down even more. There we go. There's just some nice background music. I don't want it to drown out my beautiful voice. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yes. Yeah, we'll resume saved. We can just keep going with my main game. And well, no, this is science mode. There are no funds, so you can launch as many rockets as you want without consequence. But unlike sandbox mode, there is still science, so there is progression in the game. You know, you have to build rockets, go to different places, do some research, and then bring it back to research and development to try and complete the tech tree. Um, let's see. Let's set a goal right now. You know, goals are important. Happy New Year's. If you made any New Year's resolutions, make sure that they are like they taught us in school. They are SMART goals. They are smart. They are measurable. They are attainable. They are realistic. And I forgot what the T stood for, but you know what I mean. You know. Oh yeah, Happy New Year, all. This will be my first video of the decade. Um, yeah. Alright. Okay, tech tree. Sorry, I was busy texting Mikey, which I should not do because I am busy. Mikey, if you're watching this, hello. Let's see. I don't really know what to go for next. Well, something science or electronic related I would like. Oh, so these are some solar panels that retract, which would be nice because right now I just have these puppies, which just kind of slap on the side. They don't do much. Well, I guess I'd better get you up to speed on what I have done so far, not just what I'm going to do. So, most significant things I've done are I have gotten the Fandral 1 rocket. This is just some debris, an old booster stage, into orbit around the moon, and then landed safely. And then, unlike the failed, what was that one called? Oh, unlike the failed Munar series of missions, the Fandral was able to successfully take off, reorbit the moon, and then exit into a Kerbin orbit, and further from there lower its periapsis into the atmosphere and land safely for recovery. Then I decided to use the same booster from the Fandral rocket to put a little communication satellite into orbit around them. Well, it was going to be in orbit around Kerbin, but because the rocket was designed for the moon, I decided, you know what, that's alright, we'll just put it in the moon. And so that's exactly what I did. It was just sitting there for a few days, then I realized, yeah, I'll put it into the moon. I've got all this extra Delta V. Yeah, very nice. So yeah, we're gonna leave the tracking center now and go to the vehicle assembly building. Let's see. Alright, this is the Fandral 2. Its goal is to get to Minimus, but, which is, okay, I should probably explain. It's very possible that you have not heard of this game before. So, this is the Kerbal system. That's the star, Kerbal. And here are all the planets. From inner to outer. Eve. Kerbin. Duna. Dress. Jewel. And what's this one called? Elu. Now, each planet, well, not everyone, but a lot of planets have moons. And Kerbin, which is a Class M planet on the Star Trek planetary classification scale, at least I think it's Class M. Yeah, that's probably Class M. It has 2 moons. It has the moon, which is a larger natural satellite, and then it has Minimus, which is smaller but further. Now, even despite its further distance, Minimus is far easier to get missions to and from, simply due to its smaller size. Neither of them have an atmosphere, but this one is relatively significantly bigger than Minimus. So here's Kerbin. It has many distinct biomes. We've got like ice caps, tundra, grasslands, midlands, highlands, desert, coast, ocean. There's a few more I'm probably forgetting. And oh, and technically, the launch pad counts as a biome for surface samples and crew reports, in case you were wondering. So this is Fandral 2. It's alright. It's nothing to complain about, but it could be better. So let's see what we can do. So this is my scientific equipment. This is an absolute necessity, but not as much as I have. Let's see. So what I want to do is I want to get the scientific equipment to Minimus and back safely. But actually, I only need one of each of these, because I learned recently that they can actually just be reused. You can take the data, store it in the pod, and then there's no issue. Here's some safety parachutes for re-entry. Well, actually, no, that's for final landing. Right, no, this heat shield is for re-entry. We can put it like that, but I don't like that. So we are going to build a 2-person payload to get to and from Minimus. This pod only holds 1 crew member, but we need 2. Jebediah to pilot it, and then we need Bob to be a scientist so that we can effectively and safely reuse all equipment. That way we don't have to haul it all back to Earth, excuse me, all back to Kerbin. We can just reuse it. So I'm thinking, oh, that's a little large. But what if, okay, so we have these larger ones. Well, that one's a 1 person, so there's no need for it. But then there's this large lander can, which I can probably just, yeah, that's pretty good. Now we can actually completely just get rid of that. Uh-oh. Shoot. No, that's not a lander can. Mark 1, I need the Mark 2 lander can so I can hold multiple people. Okay. I've got this. No problems. Okay. So now the Mark II lander can, ooh, that is, wow. Dang. This is okay. We can do this with a large lander can. Looks like it has some attachment points on the Daco. That's nice. He'll enjoy the view at least. I'm trying to think of how I can make this more aerodynamic. Oh, Mark 1 crew cabin. That might work better. That way. So the Mark 1 shape of objects are 1.25 meters in diameter, unless they're like this, and then it's their widest point that's like that. This is good because it means, crap, was that structural? Yes, utility. So now this will attach and it will all be streamlined, which is nice. How many people does that hold? 2. Good. Okay. We're doing good. Let's land these bad boys right back there. Put on a Mark 16 parachute. Good. Okay, doing good. Now. Let me think. Okay, this is good. Okay, so we're just going to have a... Okay, let me pull up a Delta V map. So, Delta V is how much change in velocity is required to reach a target or something like that, or anything, you know. And you can see down here, it's measured in... It's a unit of speed, and so in Kerbal Space Program, it's measured in meters per second, which, while I am not a communist, I have found no easy way to change that, nor no practical use, because it works fine, you know. Bigger number is good, even if I don't fully understand, even if I can't like visualize the speed, you know. All right, Kerbal Space Program Delta V map. Let's pull one of these. So a Delta V map shows you. I can't get it up on. Well, actually, I probably can get it up on here. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you this video at the end, so we'll go back to that. KSP Delta V map. All right, here we go. So this is what it looks like. Let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, that's stupid. You never zoom in your browser, guys. Copy image. We're gonna pull up some Microsoft Paint. Ooh, oh wow, that is a high quality image. Nice stuff. Okay. Alright, so down here is Kerbin, alright? Now, these numbers show how much delta V in meters per second is required to reach certain points. We can see the key over here, so we can see that this symbol is low orbit at 80 kilometers above the surface, above sea level of Kerbin. And so, by this number here, we can tell that we need 3,400 meters per second of delta V to get from the surface of Kerbin to a low Kerbin orbit. Furthermore, after that, from low Kerbin orbit, we will need 930 meters per second of delta V to get an intercept with Minimus, 160 to get into a low Minimus orbit, and I'm assuming that final 180 is to land. Okay, so I'm thinking we do this in 3 stages. Alright? The first stage gets us into a Kerbin orbit, a low Kerbin orbit. The second stage will stabilize that orbit and get us onto an intercept trajectory with Minimus. Third stage, no, I'm overthinking this, aren't I? Minimus is so small. I mean, let's imagine that this is just the landing stage. Alright, the landing stage for Minimus. We just need one of these puppies and a Terrier engine. How much does that give us? 500. Okay, 500. That is a lot. That'll easily get us from Minimus. We don't need that much. Okay, and we shouldn't have that much either. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So that was the T800. So let's do the FLT 400. Did I say that right? Yeah. Okay. Terrier 300. That's plenty, I think. Yeah, 340. Yeah, okay, that is technically enough. I don't understand why that number's there. Oh wait, no. Maximum plane changed. Okay, 304. Okay, alright. And here we can see all the way out to other planets. So first what it shows you how to get to that body, into an orbit around it, and then to its moons, its natural satellites. And then, so we can see that to get into an elliptical orbit around Kerbin, and then from there to all of these places. So Joule is obviously Jupiter's equivalent, or at least a Joule intercept to stabilize its orbit. Then you can use more delta V to either get into a circular orbit around it, or to get to one of its various moons. Oh, Latha's a moon? I didn't know that. I thought it was its own place. Huh, more you know. I am not. Okay. I saw an interesting design from my cousin Derek. Alright, he's a big help a lot of the times, and his rocket to and from Minimus was very small. Let's see, designed to get to and from it. No, this one. No, okay, we'll fix the description. Get to and from Minimus. Quickly and efficiently. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, there are a few necessities. Okay, the first thing we're going to add is some, where is it? Command and control, okay. Some RCS. RCS are these little maneuvering thrusters that just help you do stuff, okay? Without them, you have to rely on electric charge to maneuver in a vacuum, which is a pain, but it is doable. So we won't add RCS to this craft. We will, however, add a inline reaction wheel. That is very small. That's what she said. Okay, that's unstable, but it'll be. Oh, never mind. There's more. Let's see what else we can get. Nope, too big. Just right, Goldilocks zone. Perfect. But that will use a fair amount of electric charge. So let's get some batteries. Just 2 will be fine. And then some solar panels. Great, great, perfect. Okay. We still have enough delta V. Actually. This stage is just to take off from Minmus, which means that we need another one. By the time we're done with Minmus, we will not need that Science Junior kit. I need a decoupler. T12. Excuse me. Gotta get it a little closer there. Then we could decouple that underneath this. Okay, no, I've changed my mind. We are... No, cancel. Oh yeah, don't save. We are going to go back to the original design of the Fandral 2. Now, I know with certainty that this can get to Minimus, because it can get to the moon. And back. Oh, one sec, my dog's scratching at my door. Come here, Lily. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. You're so strong. Pushing the door open all by yourself. Good girl. So, we will take this and modify. But look at that. That is wasteful. We do not need... Actually, we might. But I'd still like a few modifications. Alright. For one thing, we do not need 2 Science Juniors. Oh, that's not good. But what we do need is... Where is it? Dang. Structural? No. Utility, that's where it was. The Mark I crew cabin. Okay, now we need to choose the crew complement. I want to take Bill and Bob. Well, Bob is going to do a little more. Bill's just along for the ride, so Bob and then Bill. Man, this is inefficient. Maybe I could just reduce the asparagus staging a little bit. So this is called asparagus staging. These aren't solid fuel boosters like you see on regular rockets. These are liquid, which means I can adjust the throttle, and they actually drain fuel. So these yellow things are fuel pipes. So as I fly, these all drain, but once they drain to, let's say, they all drain 1 tank completely, well then I'm carrying 1, 2, 3 times 6. I'm carrying 18 tanks that are only carrying the amount of fuel in 12. So that's inefficient. You're carrying 6 more tanks than you need. So we get rid of 6 tanks. We get rid of this entire thing. This is the entire assembly and its counterpart on the other side. That way, now we have 4 full tanks. Now we do lose a little bit of speed because we have 4 less engines, but it's okay because it is a major increase in efficiency. Now, one of the nearly fatal mistakes of the Fandral 1, Fandral is one of the Nordic gods. I realized that NASA names their programs after Greek gods, so I decided I'll name mine after Nordic. Fandral was just one of the smallest gods, which I think is appropriate because these are perhaps the 2 smallest and relatively easiest bodies to get to in the Kerbal system. So there are some things I need. Due to its increased size, I would like... no, not that many. No, no, the parachutes will be fine. That'll be fine. What else? What did I want? Oh yeah, control. We need 2. Well, probably we don't need 2, but we'll take 2. What's this? That's an engine. Is there an engine there? That has no way to decouple. What did I do? Wow. That's just a random engine sitting there. I think. Yeah, that's a swivel engine. Okay. Wait, is that a... Oh, that is a decoupler. Never mind. It's fine. Yeah, we gotta shroud that again. Okay, never mind. My bad. My bad. Oh yeah. Inline stabilizers. So I think we'll add one. Yeah, I just can see the decoupler. That is on me. We'll add an inline stabilizer there. And one in the final stage. Something that doesn't decouple ever. The payload of science. Great. Okay. Now let's edit its description a bit. Control, crew capacity, electrical system upgrades, and scientific efficiency. Which reminds me that now I have to open the service bay. Reduce the amount of mystery goos and just get a little bit. We'll just have 2 barometers and 2 thermometers. That'll be plenty. Now, like I said, increase in electrical systems, which in this case just means throwing some batteries and solar panels on it. That'll be plenty. Okay, solar panels. 1 for every angle. Great. This is looking beautiful. Okay, let's save it. Oh wait, first I need to fix the staging. Okay. Oh, I just saw a cat go my window. Alright, so first off, all of these engines should fire. Good. Except this one. Good, that fires after these, and then these decouple. So that fires, and then afterwards, the final asparagus boosters decouple, and then this decouples, giving us, so this final stage will put us into orbit, I believe. So after that decouples, this engine fires. It'll drain all its fuel. Now for the landing stage. This will land us on Minimus, hopefully. And then this engine will fire to slow our descent and to take off. Then we will return to Kerbin, decouple this, the heat shield will carry us in, then our low-powered parachutes deploy, and finally our main parachute deploys. And I am not feeling very safe about this, so I'm going to throw on 2 more parachutes. The difference between the orange and blue ones is the orange are just to slow you down enough so that the main parachutes can actually deploy. Alright, now save it. Let's just launch, I guess. There's not really any need to line up a window to land on the whatever body you want to or anything. Just kind of go for it. If you need to wait in orbit for a few days, that's all right. The Kerbals, they don't require food, water, or really anything. Now, here's a fun little bit of trivia. The command pods actually contain a little bit of monopropellant, which is used for RCS thrusters and jetpacks, because in the early days of Kerbal's base program, Kerbals did require monopropellant to stay alive, but not anymore. It's just that the monopropellant from the command pods was never removed. Alright, so I engaged SAS, which will help me stay on target without me doing anything, and let's launch. 3, 2, 1, main engine start. Alright, so you can see over here the fuel usage of each engine. Now these are draining faster because these engines above it are not draining only through those 4 engines, but instead all engines in the asparagus staging for that added efficiency I told you about. It constantly fills up the tanks of its neighboring engines. Alright, now that we're about at 150 meters per second, I'm going to throttle down to about 75% just for added efficiency. And if you look in here, my delta V is actually increasing because the higher up I go, although I am using fuel, it gets more and more efficient, and so I have more potential because there's less atmosphere in the way. And you'll see my speed is decreasing, but not critically. It'll be fine if I increase a little bit. Great. How many notches are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm sorry, I misspoke. That's about 2/3 throttle. Okay, alright, never mind. We'll increase to the 13th notch. Here's our altitude above sea level and above the actual surface. It's very beautiful. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. Sorry if you can. It's just Lily. She's being a little silly. Oh, there's the moon. There's the fuel, so we're about to hit the next stage, which will engage the main engine and decouple 2 more asparagus boosters. Now it's called asparagus staging because all the boosters clustered together like that kind of look like a bunch of asparagus. Alright, now for the orbital mechanics part of this game. Well, supposedly, now for the orbital mechanics part of this spyware. Oh, that's what my dog is barking at. Our new couch is here. Nice. Alright, so she'll be barking for a little bit. So here is the apoapsis, which if we go into the map here, the apoapsis is your highest point above the body you're orbiting, and your periapsis is the lowest point of your orbit. Now currently my periapsis is inside Kerbin, which is bad. That means I'm going to crash if I do not change. But as you can see, this parabola is constantly changing. Now, and you can still see some debris that landed safely. The debris is supposed to destroy itself. That's okay. Anyway, so the Kerbin atmosphere ends at about 70 kilometers, and so getting into 80 kilometers of a circular orbit is considered low orbit because it's 10 kilometers above any interruptions, which could be an atmosphere. Alright, so when the apoapsis reaches about, we're going to get some more speed here, and when the apoapsis reaches 80 kilometers, then I will burn parallel to the horizon in this direction, going there, so that I will gain lateral speed relative to Kerbin, and therefore my orbit will increase. Now you'll see that there are 2 lines. There's this blue one, which gets covered up by the red one. Now the red one is actually part of a mod. I'm not one for modded, but I felt it was necessary. So what the blue one shows you is your estimated trajectory, but so does the red one. The only difference is that the red one accounts for 2 things, the blue one does not. It accounts for drag and aerodynamics, and it accounts for the rotation of the planet. If I were to stop here, oh wait, here we go, it's out of the atmosphere. So now the red one is redundant, nearly redundant, because, okay, 80 kilometers is my apoapsis, so now Actually, you know what? We'll burn to about 85. Okay, my dog is barking. I have to go get her. 1 second. Lily. Alrighty, let's get back to this. Sorry about that little delay there. I'm not gonna cut that out. You're just gonna have to live with that. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay, I cut the throttle. That's good. So here's my actual altitude above sea level in communist meters. So we just gotta wait until we drift to the apoapsis. Now let's test out these new inline reaction wheels. They are not working. Oh, only because this is such a massive craft. Yes, of course. Okay. They are enabled though. Okay, I think. Let's just turn prograde. Now prograde is the direction that you are currently moving in. So we burn prograde a little bit. Not too much. We don't want to raise our apoapsis too much at this point. But I do want, but because this craft is so massive and unstable, it's a necessity that the engines fire in order to turn it, even in a vacuum and with two fully powered reaction wheels. Okay, we are. Now we can see on the nav ball here that we are burning at about 30 degrees above the horizon. At about 10 degrees, I'll fire the engines to full to stabilize our orbit. And go. So now, the SAS system will keep us heading prograde, but prograde just so happens due to our elevate. Okay, now I need to use stability assist. I don't want to burn prograde, but it looks like I'm actually about to surpass my apoapsis, which is not good. I do not want to pass my apoapsis. Always keep the apoapsis ahead of you when you are trying to stabilize an orbit. Okay, I should have burned sooner. That's on me. So we can see that the orbit is not increasing in height by very much, that the apoapsis at least is not, but it is getting wider. So if we keep doing this for a while, eventually we will receive a circular low curve in orbit. Now we can either look at the map ourselves, but I like to use the maneuver mode part of the data display and see the periapsis as a number. Now we can see over here that these engines are all out of fuel, so we get rid of those. Without it, not much looks like it happened because they don't have very much momentum. So these side ones just detached. And now the main one did, so now we're just focused on this, and now we engage that engine, which will be a lot easier to maneuver. And now here's a fun little tidbit about orbital mechanics. It is easiest to raise your periapsis, well, not just raise, but it is easier to adjust your periapsis from your apoapsis. It's easiest to raise your apoapsis from your periapsis. You can see when I was burning at the apoapsis, the closer I was, the less it was changing, but the more dramatically the periapsis was changing. And that's just something interesting. So basically, whatever you do in your orbit will affect the other side. Now we're going to continue our burn. I could have set up a maneuver node for this, but it's such a simple thing. I did not need one. Oh, here comes the nice space music, because we are at about 100 kilometers, I believe. Yes. Alrighty. This is nice, isn't it? Just us. With some Kerbal Space Program. Oh, and there is time warp. You can speed up time, because otherwise, gaining some planets in this game would take literal years in real life, which no one really wants to spend that much time on. It's a good game, but I wouldn't really play it for 3,000 years. Which, speaking of, reminds me, if you guys would like to see more of this, I'm probably not going to do another video like this again. I like to keep every single video different. The Odyssey by Bill is like a 30 or 40 video playlist of this guy doing incredible things, and it's a little funny too in Kerbal Space Program. There's no commentary, so I'm sorry you don't get to hear my beautiful voice. But oh, here we go. Periapsis is, wait for the 80 magic number. Booyah! Okay, stabilized orbit, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Okay, now we need to intercept Minimus. So, we can just sit here for a while. We've got a lot of time. As I was saying, the Odyssey by Bill is it's pretty great. I like it. I highly recommend it. And so, it's pretty funny. So it's just text. There is no talking, but you get to see this guy. One time, he went to every single body that you can land on, every single terrestrial body in the Kerbal system, with one craft. And it didn't have staging or anything. It was it's what we call an SSTO, a single stage to orbit. So it doesn't get rid of boosters like mine did. It just flies the entire time. And now, he did have to refuel on some of the other planets, but that was using valid in-game mechanics, because you can mine and process ore on some of the terrestrial bodies and make fuel out of it. Okay, so now maneuver node time. We're going to click where we want to add a maneuver. It could be anywhere along our trajectory, along our flight path, and add maneuver. Now, we have these funny symbols that we saw on the nav ball. There's a new one on the SAS system, which I'll explain in a second. So, in order, you can adjust, you can see how doing different things will change your orbit without needing to do them, which is good. So if I were to burn prograde, or along the direction I'm going, at my periapsis for, oh, excuse me, and change and use 900 meters per second of delta V, this is what my orbit would look like. But if I were to do the exact same thing at my apoapsis, this is what my orbit would look like. Now, this is very useful. There's also, the purple ones are normal and anti-normal. These actually all point in the ways they go. So this is just facing up on your orbit, and this is facing down. Actually, no, not up and down. If you are looking at it, it's more like north and south, kind of. But then, excuse me, I need to edit the maneuver again. Uh-oh. Come on. Now, then the blue is radial in and radial out, which is whether you're facing into the center of gravity or away from it. So yeah, those are actually all pretty self-explanatory. Now, Minimus does this annoying thing where its orbital plane is different than a Kerbin's is, which is kind of annoying. So it is best to orbit where the Minimus orbital plane is the same, which means I should add a maneuver about here. Add maneuver. I'm actually gonna get rid of that. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of that maneuver. This is the maneuver nope. We'll add it at the periapsis. Add maneuver. Increase. What's it called? Increase prograde burning until. Oh, what? I saw something. Okay, so that's a Lunar Intercept. So this orange shows me up until the purple. Now the purple is when the moon has a higher pull on my, has a higher influence with its gravity over my craft than Kerbin does. So then we follow that, it'll slingshot us around until the moon escape, where I am then once again influenced mostly by Kerbin's gravity. However, you kind of steal a little bit of energy from the moon. It's called a gravity slingshot. I don't remember. I think it's like a gravity slingshot or something. And so then my speed is far too fast to be orbiting Kerbin anymore, and then we have the Kerbin escape 62 days from now. Of course, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I want. What I want is a counter with Minimus. So if we look there, it'll be about here. Burn prograde a bit more. Now, I'm going to do something that's probably like a sin in Kerbal Space Program. And but what if the moon gets in the way? Okay, time to save. Save game. Fandral 2 LKO. Alright. So now, so you don't have to use a maneuver to move and change your orbits. It just helps, because it can better tell you what to do. And so these buttons allow you to face that direction already on your own. But a maneuver will tell you which direction exactly you have to face in order to achieve the projected orbit. And so I have to face towards the blue. And the nice thing is that as it changes, it is relative to this. It is not relative to the surface. So it will. I can shut down all my engines. I can shut down everything, and I'm not moving. It's just that the planet and center of gravity are moving. That's why the nav ball is moving. So what I'm doing now is warping to the next maneuver. Now the general rule of thumbs with maneuver is, because the maneuver will never be perfect. It assumes an instantaneous burn time, which you do not have. And so the rule of thumb is divide your burn time in two. So this will take 66 seconds. Half of that is 33. And then start burning full throttle at that time. That way, half of the burn will be completed before the maneuver node, and half will be after. Now, for larger maneuvers, and to be more efficient, you should actually do it over a few cycles, but we've got a little bit of delta V to spare. So we're just going to do it like this. Now, that delta V map, it said from a low Kerbin orbit. I have it up on my phone. It said from a low, come on. We'll just check real quick. From low Kerbin orbit to Minimus intercept is 930 meters per second of delta V. We have 920. Nice. Okay, 33, burn full throttle at the maneuver node. So now you can see they switched my periapsis and apoapsis, and now my apoapsis will continue to increase. Now you're thinking, wow, that bar is draining pretty fast. Now this bar is not fuel or anything. That is how much delta V I still need. That is how much delta V it will take to achieve that maneuver. It just helps visualize it a little bit. Now, if you're thinking that it's moving down a lot faster than this is increasing, that's because this decreases in a linear fashion, and this raises in an exponential fashion. We'll see as we get closer that my apoapsis will start raising faster and faster. Now that engine's burned out, so we need to go back into there. Engage that engine. See, now it is a little worrying, you know. Like, I've used 800 to get to there. How is 100 gonna get me all the way to there? It does though. Trust the system. Want to avoid a lunar intercept. Booyah! Woo! 0.5 meters per second off. That is not bad at all. We'll take that. Now let's just time warp a few times. I've got it. If you click somewhere along your projected flight path and click warp here, you can only warp so much at different altitudes. and this will enable me to warp. This will warp the fastest at every altitude. So as my altitude increases, my warp capability increases as well, and this will use the maximum potential of that warp capability. So I don't need to keep increasing it. And then as we come back down to Kerbin, then we will come here. Now, days. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that Kerbin actually orbits in real time. So one day on Kerbin is the same as one day on Earth. And so when it's saying days, it does mean a real life 24 hours to do that. So it'll take me 10 days to get all the way to here. Is this going to be an intercept? Oh, so close. So we're just going to keep using maximum warp capability until we have a Minimus encounter. Yes! Booyah! Woo! Okay, so now on this next one. No, okay, so we follow the blue line first. The blue line takes us to here. So then this is the Minimus encounter. So we need to warp here. Take a look at this. You can see that if you could not time warp, this would have taken 2 months to do. Which is why space travel is so hard in real life, because you do have to plan it properly. You can't spend 2 months waiting for the moon. You know, it just doesn't work. You have to know exactly where the moon is going to be and when you need to be there. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. See, I'm still a week away. Alright. Yeah, this is going well. Oh yeah, also, if you want to watch more of Kerbal Space Program, and you do want commentary, I highly recommend Scott Manley. He has a very nice accent, and overall, really cool dude. He's like an actual astrophysicist, so he knows what he's talking about more than I do. Okay, so now this is the closest point I approach the moon from. Excuse me, Minimus. And so, like I said, it's easier. My apoapsis doesn't really have one because I'll just keep getting further and further away for forever. It goes off on a tangent. But here's my periapsis, so if I reduce my speed here until I see, here I go, that's moving now. I do not want to escape Minimus. I want to get captured in an orbit. So then, circular orbit. At that point, they are about the same, and then it'll be easier. And then it'll be easier to just go. Then we can orbit around to the apoapsis, burn the periapsis down. Ah, wonderful. Now, so there's prograde and retrograde. Prograde is when you're facing the way that you're actually going. Retrograde, on the other hand, is when you're facing the opposite way, so trying to slow down. Because in space, you won't slow down on your own. For every meter per second of delta V you use in one direction, if you want to slow down, you have to burn another meter per second of delta V in the opposite direction. So, I want to double check the delta V map again. This is about, okay, so from Minimus intercept to low Minimus orbit is 100% and 160. This is showing way more than that. And I guess I just wasn't as efficient as I thought. Okay, so once again, we'll round that up to 26. Half of 26 is 13. So we burn at node in T-minus 13 seconds. Whew, what a thrill. Oh wait, you know what? Drat. We'll get a crew report now. However, Minimus. Oh, 12.5 science. That is wonderful. And we can start doing some actual science now. Once we get into orbit. need to go get another drink. Now let's look at the map, because we don't want to burn more than we have to. Don't worry about the orbitals being all weird. Ooh, okay. We'll just go with that. Save us 10 meters per second. Alright, now. Time to do some science. Electric charge is charging. Good, good. Now let's observe mystery goo. High above minimus. 25 science. Wonderful. Log print data. It's as if it's in a vacuum. Who knew? Log temperature. Measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there is no matter how to be hot or cold except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give the research and development guys something to think about for a while. 20 science. Now, you'll notice there's a green bar and a blue bar. The blue bar is if I transmit the data right to Kerbin, but it's kind of, there's no need to do that, you know. I'm sending these guys I'm sending them back to I'm sending them back to Kerbin anyway, so why not just take the science with me, you know? Why transmit it if I'm taking it back? Okay, so some of the scientific equipment, like the Mystery Goo containers and the Science Junior, if you take the data out of them and put them into a data storage box like I have in here, it will disable it. Not barometers and thermometers, though. Those will work fine. And so if you disable it, you still get your data, but in order to repair it, you have to use a scientist. Activate a hatch. There's no hatch on here. Okay, so I know what I have to do. This will be a little sketchy. Okay, let's save again. Well, first, let's get some more science. Observe materials bay. Whew, that is a lot of science. Keep experiment. Transfer data. There. Remove data. Transfer data to there. Transfer data to there. Now, all of my scientific information is in that box. If I lose all of this, as long as I have the box, I'm okay. Sorry, just texting Jasmine. She, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, so Jasmine, I texted her and said I have a conundrum, and I was going to explain that I wasn't really sure which game to play for this video, but then I decided on Kerbal Space Program. So, Jasmine, I know you're going to be watching this. Hello. This was the conundrum. It's okay, though. I fixed it. Now we need to lower our periapsis. We could lower the apoapsis from here, but why try to get rid of 2 million meters when you could just get rid of 600,000 meters, you know? So we're gonna add another maneuver here. Maneuvers are just nice so you know about how much you're going to need to change your velocity. Now, periapsis, I do want to orbit in a low minimus orbit. I mean, look at this. That's 10 meters per second of delta V. Let's get it to about 10 kilometers. Oh yeah, and I can check over here the projected orbit as well. Oh, wonderful. Okay, that'll take like no time at all, which means I'll have to be careful. Uh-oh. So I will have to be careful here, because I am now actually on a lunar escape trajectory. Which I do not want. I want to stay on the moon. No, 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 no. Oh, shoot. Okay, okay. I'll burn. It'll work. Trust the system. Trust the system. I have to capture it. Okay. Load save. I didn't save it. Crap. That's fine. We'll just We'll just re-intercept, okay? Okay, this is fine. That was my mistake. I should not have burned prograde when my orbit was still so sketchy. Oh, cancel time warp, cancel time warp. Okay, 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 here we go, here we go. That maneuver, retrograde to a stable orbit. Nice, okay. Now this will be a lot lower, so I'll have a little bit of a safety margin in case I mess up again. Time warp. Three, 2, 1, 0. Stable. Alright, 1 sec. Lily wants out. Alright. Here we go. Now, we're going to add another maneuver at the apoapsis to lower our periapsis to around. Oop, no. Slowly, slow and steady wins the race. Nine kilometers. Boo! Alright, maneuver. That's my electric charge. Oh, nice, still increasing. So the solar panels are working perfectly. Now I can adjust a little slower on my own. Perfect. Now I don't like intercept the planet at any point. Well, excuse me, the Minimus at any point. Do I? No, I don't. So warp here. 9 kilometers above the surface should be safe. It doesn't have any mountains that high. I hope. Oh wow, that is close. So I'm only about 7 kilometers above the surface. That's good. That's good. Crew report. Yes, it is relatively flat, isn't it? Log temperature. Log pressure data. Now here's where the sketchiness comes out. I need to get Jebediah away, so I really should not have brought Bob along even for the ride. Okay, is there anything that you can hold on to? Okay, this will be fine, Take data. Take data, and then store it. Okay, now we're just going to leave you floating right here, okay? Now, I need to go into map mode, and now I need to control the pod itself. Jeb move. Tracking center. Oh, excuse me. I should have saved. We'll control the Fangirl too. Alright, sorry about that. Just send it a quick text. Now we are going to transfer crew. We are transferring. Oh shoot. Which one? Okay, Bob is the scientist. Transfer Bob to the command capsule. Now, what do you mean? Oh, wait, there we go. Now Bob will EVA. Now, enable his jetpack. Okay. Now he's going to go repair this scientific equipment. Let's start with the mystery goo since we're here. Restore. And then we're going to run the experiment again. Observe mystery goo. Great. Collect data. Remove data. And restore since I'm already out here. Now, restore. Observe materials bay in low minimus orbit. Take the data. Collect data. Remove data. Restore. Great. Now. Oh, okay, he's fine. I can get him back still. He's not really far. Now, Bob is going to board. He's going to get on. And I'm going to transfer crew. Transfer Bob into the main. That's not the main, but now we need to control Bill again. Excuse me, we need to control Jebediah again. And we can see that he's orbiting Minimus just fine. He's alright. He's been out there for a few minutes just enjoying the view. Now we just bring him a little closer. Because he is our pilot. Oh, shoot. Shoot. No, it's okay, it's okay. I got this. F grab. Woo! And board. Safe. Everyone is safely aboard. And we can land on the next go around. That's inefficient. That maneuver. Oh, I've got, okay, so we'll start in the Minimus Highlands, then we'll move down to the Midlands, and as we're falling, then we'll land in the flats. Then we can get data from every single biome. Yeah. Oh, I didn't collect an EVA report. Oopsies. Jebediah is going out again. So the reason that I cannot deploy them from here is because they first need to go into the command pod, because that's what has a hatch to the outside, but I can't get them into the command pod if Jebediah is in there because there's not enough room. So let's just get a quick EVA report. Take data, store experiments. Alright, and then board it again. View stored data. I did not get a high altitude EVA report. That's okay, I mean, we're going there anyway, so I'll get one. Alright, let's go on EVA again. We've still got an hour until we reach the node without warping. So EVA report. Great. Board. And let's look at a first-person view of what Bob sees. You know, he's sitting across from Bill. Can he see the moon? He can. Absolutely stunning. Hi, Bill. Kind of weird. Let's engage landing gear and angle ourselves towards the maneuver. Let's warp there, because I don't want to wait an hour. Whoa, this video is already in an hour. Woo! Well, I guess you're gonna have a lot of watching to do. Maybe I'll cut it down eventually, just get the more interesting parts. But no, I'll leave it. I'll leave the whole thing up for now. Okay, let's see. My periapsis. That'll be good. That'll be good. Okay. Now, save. Fendrel to Minimus. Does approach have two P's? Okay. Approach.
Here's the definition of approach.
Yeah, I was spelling it right. Good. Save. Okay. We can get rid of the maneuver now. And let's warp to here, because as I get closer, my speed is going to increase a lot, so I will need to burn retrograde. Fairly significant amount. Oh, that's above sea level. I want above actual surface level, though. We'll go to here, warp here. See, my speed is increasing, because when you're orbiting, I'm sure you've all heard, is just falling. And so the further out you are, the less pull the body orbiting has on you, and so you don't have to go as fast to stay in an orbit. However, I want a crew report. However, let's get an EVA report. Just gotta hurry, EVA report. Store board. Fire up the engines. However, the closer you are, it has more pull, so you need to fall faster in order to avoid actually falling. You need to maintain that speed, but not too fast, because if you go too fast, you will break orbit. So really, when you're orbiting, you're going at exactly the right speed, at exactly the right places. Okay, we slowed down about 100 meters per second. That's good, that's good. Okay, come on. We'll drop down to about 500, and then slow down from there for even further. I'm probably doing this fairly inefficiently. If any of you are mid-chance rocket scientists, please do not judge me too harshly, as I am just a 15-year-old playing a game, not actually doing orbit, not actually doing math and stuff. Oh, I actually have a lot of math homework. It's okay, it'll be fine, I'll get it done. Here we go. Nice, gentle approach. Anything above 10 meters per second will destroy most equipment. Here we go, there's the shadow. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Slow and steady wins the race to the moon. Got it. I'm not tipping? Ooh, the gravity here is like nothing. Observe materials bay. Whoa! Jeez. All right, nice. Let's get a observe mystery goo going on. Let's get a crew. We'll have Jeb make the crew report. He's the captain. Oh, overwrite. No. There we go. All right. Jeb, time for an EVA. To get back up here, I'll just have to tip the rocket over, maybe. Or just jetpack up. Or even jump up would probably work. Let's find out. Well, we have to go down here for a surface sample. Oh, I almost knocked the rocket over. Look at this. Falling from that height on Earth would kill you. Or even on Kerbin, it would kill you. Take surface sample. It is not a delicious dessert product. Okay. Don't eat it, Jeb. EVA report. Oh, I can get just up to here. Nice. This really is something else. I'd like to go to the moon someday in real life, The astronauts on the Apollo mission played a little bit of golf on the moon. Okay, plant flag. Fandral to site on January 3rd, 2020. The Fandral to spacecraft landed here with a crew composed of Jebediah, Bill, and Bob Kerman as a upgraded version of the Fandral 1. It made it to and from Minimus with relative ease. Sounds pretty nice, huh? I think so. Okay. Alright, now I've gotta get back up there. Now let's see. Take data, store. What board? Oh. No. Which one would I be getting rid of? Okay, I need to knock it over. If I can knock it over, I can get it back up, I think. What I need is just to be able to store the experiments in the data storage box in there, so that I can actually climb into the command pod and not lose any data. You know, the reason I came here is for science. I just gotta fly up here. Did I take all the experiments out of here? I need to. Ooh. Take data. Nope, 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 nope. Come on. How much monopropellant? I've got plenty. So close. Come on. Come on. And it's falling, isn't it? I just want to store some scientific data. Here we go. This will be easier. There's less things in the way back here. Store experiments. I still have an experiment with me, don't I? Wow, this is a lot of data. Way too much. Okay, that's fine. Come on. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Crew hatch. Grab it. Board it. Nice. Now, let's fly a little bit. Fly me to the moon and let me dance among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. That should put us into the lowlands, I think. Perfect. Well, we're in the lowlands. But down to the flats. And we land again. I kind of want to get data from the highlands also. That might be kind of risky, because I don't know if I'd have enough delta V to return to Kerbin. Alright, now we just gotta wait a few minute or so, maybe. Beautiful craft, isn't it? I designed it myself. Just gonna transfer all the data in here. Transfer data. Remove data. I know. Almost there. Kind of nice how Kerbal, that's the name of the star, just kind of stops the rest of the galaxy, you know? I don't know. It's very nice here. This is a good game. There is a little bit of a controversy. You probably noticed how at the beginning I said this is spyware disguised as a game, which isn't necessarily true. It is a real game. It just has spyware in it. And so I do recommend looking into that if you decide to play. I've reviewed it and I think that it's fine. It's not really too big of a deal, but it's understandable why some people are upset over it. So just do your own research, you know. We're all big boys here. We can decide for ourselves. All right. Oh no. Too high. Just like Snoop Dogg. Haha, little drug joke for you there. I don't expect anyone to watch this in one sitting. If you do, thank you. But why, you know? Oh, also, while we're just kind of waiting here, if you guys have any ideas for what I should do for future videos, please tell me. I don't know what's entertaining. But the one rule, well, two rules, is that it has to be a different style than a previous video, and it has to be school appropriate. Yeah, just for reasons, not for me. It's for asking for a friend. Booyah, touchdown. Transfer data. Remove data, okay. Jeb, EVA. Just go sit down for a second, Jeb. Now we need to return to the tracking station so that we can control the Fandral 2 lander itself. Well, it's not a lander, that is the entire craft. Also, what's all this debris? Why is this landed? I'm just gonna get all that debris out of the way. Let's see. Why is this not destroyed on impact? I thought it would have been. What is oh, it survived the rest of the blow. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Alright, tracking center. We're gonna get rid of all this debris real quick. Oh, I already did. Nice. So it took care of it all in one swoop. So Fandral landing. We can turn off the flags now. Fandral 1. That's gonna orbit until I go and pick it up. Oh, we can terminate it. Nice. I didn't realize there were self-destruct buttons. No, I'll leave that one in orbit as a reminder. Alright, fly the Fandral 2. Okay. Oh yeah, transfer crew. Transfer Bob to there. Now, it looks okay. So I can just bring Bob along from now on because it looks like as a level 5 scientist, he has full SAS control. Um, so Jeb's just kind of redundant at this point. Sorry, Jeb. And that would save me a lot of space. Oh, I don't want to transfer. We need Bob to do an EVA. Deploy. Now he needs to repair all this equipment. Observe materials bay. And now I'm not sure what the whole dessert joke is about. I don't fully understand it. But it's kind of funny, I guess. Now let's take whatever data we... Ooh, backflip. Parkour. Hardcore parkour. You good? You good? You're not responding to controls. Okay, you can just lie down for a minute, bud. That's fine. Oh, did you just salute? Yes, you did. Nice. Okay. All right. Bob is fine. Don't worry about Bob. He's a tough little Kerbal. No, they're called Kerbals, but so is the star. That's the confusing part. Let's get a little closer. Take data and store experiments. What do you mean? Why can't this store? Review stored data. Crew report ones. Okay, so I guess maybe it can't be stored because it's a duplicate or something? Okay, let me review this. Nope. You've already got a surface sample. Review stored data. Crew report in space near Minimus. Alright. Now, let me review the data. There's a guy in Star Trek named Data. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I love Star Trek. It's such a good series. Alright. Let's see, it's board. Review stored data. I'm looking for a crew report while in space near Minimus. Okay. Okay, so that's why it is just a duplicate then. Nice. Alright. Tracking station. Ooh. He's been out there for a few minutes. He should probably come back inside. He's gonna get a little chilly. Nice, alright. Now just fly everyone's favorite Kerbal pilot right back up into... Oop, little high, little high, little high. Cannot board a full... You're Tracking station. Fine, land. I don't know why the game can't save when they're on ladders. It's kind of silly, I think. I forgot to transfer Bob out of the command module and into the what's it called? And into the crew cabin. Transfer crew. Transfer to there. No crew. Good. Tracking station. Now, in case you're wondering why I didn't just put Jebediah and Bill in a crew cabin and call it good, it's because the crew cabin is only for transporting crew. You can't actually control unless there's crew in the cockpit. Or if you have some sort of automated control system like you would put on a satellite. which I do not have here. I just have the command. But I think next time I will just take Jebediah, and Bob can be all on his own in here, so that I don't have to send Jebediah out on an EVA every single time I want to restore the experiments. Alright. Not going to orbit quite yet. I want to get up to the Highlands. Can I not do data? Did I already record these? Alright, we need to angle ourselves towards the Highlands. Let's just head north. Maybe not. There we go. We'll just kind of skim the surface. Now we gotta angle retrograde because I've got a little bit of speed. And then from the Highlands, that should be the final biome that we need to collect data from. Then we will call it good and head back. If this is even Highlands, I'm pretty sure it is. Can't time warp when I'm below 3,000 meters altitude. Just kind of waiting a little bit while we do this. So how's your day been? Oh, really? That's very interesting. I'm not on the phone. I'm just talking to you guys, trying to make conversation. It's a little awkward though because you can't really respond instantly. You know, when I landed on the moon, I didn't actually land. Well, I did land, but then the spaceship toppled over, and so I kind of had to burn at full thrust. Well, actually, no, not full. At very little thrust, in order to get myself onto a hill, and then burn at full, so that I can like get off the surface, and then I was able to orient myself radial out and finally managed to get into a stable orbit. Luckily, not here though. I mean, the gravity is so low. Crew report mayhaps. Just gonna drift down a bit. I really hope we have enough to get back. I don't know if we will. Enough Delta V, I mean. Maybe I should have opted for the... Oh, this is the T800. Well, either they make it back or they don't. And touch down. Boing. The landing gear have a little bit of give. Highlands, please? Why is that? Oh, I still need to prepare that, don't I? Just let him fall. Auto-saving. Yeah, take a surface sample. Still in the lowlands. Okay, that's good to know. So we will just head back then, because I've already done all this experimentation. So there's no need to head back. I probably could go to actually find where the highlands are, but there's really no need. Alright, so now I'm going to try to get into a stable low orbit, and we'll go from there. I only have a little bit of time before to add a maneuver. That's okay. As long as I can get a Kerbin intercept, I'm pretty sure that I can land on Kerbin safely. Goes to the apoapsis. The closer to the apoapsis, the better. Ooh, that is a lot of Delta V. I don't know if I can afford to burn that much. I have to, though, I suppose. I'm very impatient, if you can't tell. I mean, there's only a few seconds until I get to the place where I need to burn, but I was time warping anyway. That's probably not a good idea at all. We can retract the landing gear now. What I'd really like is ion thrusters, because the fuel for them is cheap, and so right now these liquid fuel thrusters use liquid fuel and oxidizer. Ion thrusters, on the other hand, they're not very powerful, but they are efficient as crap. They run on xenon gas and electricity, as we all know, is free from the sun. So that would be very nice and save me a lot of worry. I need to add a maneuver to get back to Kerbin. I just need to escape. Okay, Kerbal orbit. Perfect. Then I'll orbit around to my apoapsis, add maneuver. How much Delta V would it take to slow me down? To a periapsis of just a few hundred kilometers. Excuse me, a few thousand. Let's say periapsis of 71,000. Perfect. That would use. Okay, I do have enough for this then. So maneuver 1 uses about 46 meters per second. Maneuver 2 about 200 meters per second. Okay, okay, so I do have plenty. Ooh, I've never seen red before. Nice, because it just kind of chooses a new color in order. So it looks like after I escape, I'll be here. Then I actually have another Minimus encounter. Oh yeah, warp to next maneuver. That's what that little green button does. The red one just deletes that maneuver. I've never actually done I've never actually plotted 2 maneuvers at the same time. I mean, I knew you could. I had done it, like, just to see if I could, but then I never followed through. I just deleted the second maneuver. This is a learning experience for all of us. Oh, this is getting a little close to 2 hours. I really hope this is recording. I probably should have checked to make sure. You know, is it? Okay, it is. Whew. Nice. Good. That would be... Oh, burn. Close enough, I think. And we'll adjust this maneuver, actually. Add maneuver. Perfect. And warp there. So I don't... I might need to just cut this down. I don't think anyone's gonna want to watch nearly 2 hours of this. Probably can't time warp through the video. Well, I mean, you could, but that would be silly. You wouldn't be watching it. Oh, wow, 100 days. This is my longest mission yet. Also, it has come to my attention that a few people do not know when my videos come out, and there's a simple solution to that. I'm not trying to get subscribers, but this is a genuine solution. If you hit the red subscribe button and then the bell button, then you should get notifications. Probably. I don't really care about subscribers, but I do like people to just watch and enjoy my videos. So if you want to do that, that's the best way to get known when new ones come out. Only about a month or so. I wasn't really planning on saying, oh, that asteroid passed a little close to Kerbin for comfort. That's what all these unknown objects are. They're little asteroids. Yeah, so, you know, if you want to know when they come out, just tell me. I didn't want to say an upload schedule, but I'm thinking it's looking about once at the beginning of every month. Close enough. Sweet. Okay. We'll warp to the moon escape, because if you can see here that I do encounter the moon along this path, and that will adjust my orbit from the blue one to the purple one. But that's okay. It looks like it actually slows me down a little bit. How close am I gonna get to this? What's my periapsis is 1 million miles. It'll be fine. We'll do a little pass to slow down at just about 72 kilometers. That will enable me to slow down a little bit and lower my apoapsis without burning fuel and without having too sharp of an approach angle. I hope. Perfect. Now, you'll see that my apoapsis and periapsis don't really change that much because there's nothing to adjust my velocity. But hopefully there is just the tiniest bit of atmosphere at about 71 kilometers to slow me down. If not, I can just retrograde burn again. Just to get me like to about 69 kilometers. Nice. Yeah, it looks like I have to do that. Cancel time warp. Oh wait. Most efficient place to lower your periapsis is from your apoapsis. Warp here. Okay, so it does not look like I slowed down, except for when I burned. And I don't want to approach too steeply. That would be bad. Oh, whoa, that is too steep. That's what I want to avoid. I should not have burned full throttle. just watching the periapsis go up, so that once it gets to 69 kilometers, that'll be enough to slow me down. Nice. Oh, good. And now it's projecting for next time I come around, so it'll take a few aero braking passes to fully slow down. But as you can see, my apoapsis has at this point changed, which is good, because that means I will be slowing down with an aero brake pass. Alright, and brace for impact. Well, no, not impact. We're gonna be fine. I hope. This would really suck if it did not go well. Okay, we're technically in the atmosphere. Not very much, but just a little bit. We're just hitting a couple million particles, and that'll slow me down. But again, I am still technically, I'm decreasing speed at my periapsis, and as we know, that'll just lower the apoapsis. So if we actually warp back here, if I can. I mean, this is at 4 times speed right now because I'm below a low Kerbin orbit. Sure is a beautiful game, though. You know, we can turn the lights on. Well, I guess not here, but now that we've actually got electric charge and a way to replenish it, because the reason I couldn't just reorient myself when I was on the moon, not Minimus, but the moon, one of my earlier missions, was because I had run out of electric charge and didn't have solar panels because I hadn't unlocked them yet. And so the only way to adjust my angle was to have the thruster firing. And so I had to use that, and it's not very great at angling myself. That's why we have reaction wheels. Yeah. Maybe I'll, once again, at my apoapsis, just decrease a tiny bit to about... Yeah, okay, so that's saying that it'll still keep me in an orbit, which is good. Sure is slow. Oh, because it wasn't auto time warp. I mean, it was auto time warp, that's the issue. Okay. So this next pass will slow me down significantly anyway. I mean, look at this. If we tried to approach at 3,000 meters per second, we could not slow down. You can deploy the drogue chutes at about 1,000 meters per second, and I'm not really sure the safety limit for those ones, but we would not be able to slow down that much. The air would slow us down a bit, and then the engine I could slow down by, as we can see, about 500 meters per second, but really I would accelerate more than anything. Because, well, I would decelerate more than anything, but the acceleration of the gravitational pull would still be enough to be a big problemo. Okay, when I'm out here, I've got to burn my periapsis down. I don't know why it keeps showing it's decreasing, because it's not decreasing that much. It's like me, it's just overestimating. I don't know why it does that. That is not the actual projected orbit. And as fun as the 69-kilometer periapsis is, it's not that practical. There we go. That'll lessen my angle of approach enough. Actually, that'll This is the path I land on. Ooh, nearly 20 million kilometers. Have I gotten a crew report from this far? Yes, I have. Okay. Let's warp. Engage. Now, here is where the fun begins. Now we can commence re-entry. Oh, here we go. Now, okay, I'm just gonna fire the engine. It's gonna overheat and probably explode, but it'll slow me down quite a bit before I can do that. Fun fact: this glowing stuff isn't just caused by friction. A large portion of it is actually the pressure of the spacecraft entering the atmosphere. The air just cannot get out of the way fast enough, and so it just presses together and then creates all this heat. Well, this is fire. It's plasma. Okay, now let's see. This is almost out of fuel. Waste not, want not. And then once it is, I'm confident that the air resistance. Ooh, do not crash. Ooh, that was close. See, then it explodes, which we did not want to be. You don't want to really be by something that's exploding. This better slow me down. This better slow us down enough. I tried to make the angle pretty shallow so that we have lots of time to be in the air and slowing down. I just don't know though. It's looking pretty good. I think it'll be okay. No, for a second I thought this was the entire thing, and I was like, did we leave the others behind? You know, that would be also. Well, that would actually be okay. They don't do that much, except for Bob. Bob's pretty important because he can reset the experiments. Because look, we ran this Science Junior like what 5 times. So either I can bring a scientist along, or I can bring 5 different Science Juniors. Yeah, so Bob's pretty important actually. And in the career mode of the game, pilots are important too, because they're the only ones that can handle that can operate the SAS, which is important because it's not practical to try and fly without SAS. You just can't get out of the atmosphere. It's not stable. On a space plane maybe, but not here. It'll wobble, and what the SAS does is it corrects the wobble. Now these parachutes are deployed partially. Then when we slow down even more, then once we get to an altitude of, let's see, these ones are at 2,500 meters, then they will deploy fully and slow us down even more. But even in this partially deployed state, they still slow us down significantly. I'm going to deploy the main chutes also, and you can see these are also partially deployed. The red one's just fully deployed. Well, orange there, but then red when they're deployed. Oh, just heard something crash. And then everything fully deployed, and now we're going at a nice 5 meters per second for about a kilometer. So now we're about half a kilometer up, and this would take about, at 5 meters per second, it would take about 100 seconds to land without time warp, but because we're going at 4 times speed, we can do it in 25 seconds. Now instead of 20 seconds at 100 meters, it'll be like what? 5 seconds? Yeah. Alright, nice. End time warp. And then recover vessel. Let's see our loot, or I guess science. No. After all, as the 74th rule of acquisition says, knowledge equals profit. That is, yeah, that's quite a bit. Never gotten that much before, and I know I could get more. It's possible to get 2,000, 2,500-ish. You know, I'm good with this. I'm good. Let's get some research and development. Like we said, the goal was to get advanced electrics. Now what are these? Now I don't really know what else to get. Relay antenna. Pathfinding. Okay, so that solar array. Okay, so these are good for stations and stuff. But what I want is more powerful rocketry now. Landing's pretty important. Okay. Propulsion systems, yes please. Okay, so these are smaller propulsions. I don't really need those. Oh, nuclear propulsion. That is good. Nuclear engines are very efficient, similar to ion engines. I'd like to get some space planes, but not yet. There's more important things. Miniaturization. That's not really important. Precision engineering, also kind of small, not really that important. But we'll... Scanning. Scanning is good. Now I can see biomes. Advanced science. So here's the drilling I was talking about. Unmanned tech. Nice, okay. 4 Kerbals, nice. Ladders, that's important. That's a lab, but more ladders. Okay, ladders, we'll get some ladders. Precision propulsion, heavier rocketry, I don't really know. Advanced fuel system, oh, these are adapters, those are important. We'll get that, and... Well, now the only thing I can afford is aviation. I don't really need to start on simple space planes now. Alright. We'll get aviation, you know. We're gonna get it eventually, why not now? Now we'll save this as default. Day 175. It's important to label and keep accurate and extensive records. And so then we leave, quit to main menu. And that's we're gonna call it quits there. 2 hours, wow, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to upload. Ooh, this is pretty fun. Alright. Oh yeah, this video, I'm not really sure how I found it. I just kinda did, and I don't understand it. So this lady's channel, this is her only video. And, well, let's just...
Hey guys, yes, I'm eating pizza. I'm starving. I'm sorry, this might look ghetto. But if you like what you saw, please bless me. Please, please comment below. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what do you want me to do differently, or we can try anything. This is just a hair journey, guys. We're not beauticians. We're not in the shop. We're not doing none of that. We're just girls just trying to learn how to do our own thing. That's all. Okay? So, like I said, I appreciate so much for you guys taking your time to watch my video. I'm going to go eat because I'm starving. I got some homework to do. So, peace.
Now, I have no issues with that video, except for one thing. I don't understand. The reason I pointed out she had only one video is because she mentions her other video, but there is no other video. There is this playlist, but I don't think that's created by her, is it? No, this is created by someone. This is just a playlist that she's compiled of other people's videos, so I don't know what that is. I'm getting distracted. Okay, that's been it. And this has been Jacob Horn. Thank you very much. Alright, I'll see you next month. Actually, no. I'll see a few people tonight. We have board game night tonight. I'm gonna kick their butts at Settlers of Catan. Excuse me, Catan. I say Catan. Some people say Catan. Also Monopoly. Those are my 2 favorite board games. Pretty sure there's some Star Trek board games. Alright, well, thank you. I will see you all next month, I suppose. Jacob Horn, nice to meet you.